Hey guys, this is Brendan with Gone Mobile Vans. We're here at our shop at Costa Mesa, California. Behind me are two 2024 high roof Transits. One is a Transit Trail, one is a regular all-wheel drive Transit. I'd like to get into some of the comparisons, the similarities and the differences between the two. Let's get into it. So first up on the Transit Trail, we've got the specific grille for the trail. It's got marker lights to denote the wider stance of the van. Really a nice looking touch to this front of this van, make it a little bit more aggressive looking. On the standard all-wheel drive Transit, they normally come with a stock grille. Sometimes it's got some chrome accents to it. We typically like to upgrade those grilles to a Raptor grille that we get from overseas. Really helps make this thing look as aggressive as it is. On the Transit Trail, you get these awesome bi-xenon HID headlights. These come stock on the Transit. Really a nice look with the daytime running lights, and they're super bright at night when you need them. The stock offering on the all-wheel drive Transit are just these regular halogen lights. They look fine. You can opt for the HID lights when you place your order for your all-wheel drive Transit. Basically, each van is the same. You can order the HID headlights on the all-wheel drive. They come stock on the Trail. Really no point to either van in this regard. So for the running boards on the Transit Trail, these come stock with the van. Really robust, solid steel, great tread plate, great width to be able to step in and out of the van. They run full length on both sides of the van. It does cause a little challenge for aftermarket side ladders, but we've come up with a solution for that. Overall, we really like the offering for the running boards from Ford on this one. The standard all-wheel drive Transit doesn't always come with running boards from the factory. You can option their stock offering if you like. On my van, I decided to go without them. I do enjoy the higher ground clearance, but I'll show you a couple other options for aftermarket side steps if you like. For a cool option from Van Compass for an all-wheel drive Transit are these rock sliders. These are really heavy duty, probably the toughest ones out there available, but once again offer protection and an easy way to get in and out of the van. So one additional option for aftermarket side steps are these from Illumines. I really like their touring side steps. They look nice. Once again, really great tread plate to be able to get in and out of the van. You don't have to feel like you're gonna miss your step while you're getting in and grab your shin. Love the way these look, and these are our top choice right now. For the wheel arches on the Transit Trail, Ford came out with these really beefy looking arches to provide some added width to the van. When they added some additional width to the track of the van with the different offset on the wheels, they needed to cover those wheels a bit more. They came up with a pretty beefy looking wheel arch. I kind of like them. On the stock Transit, you just get the standard wheel well arches. Once again, they're fine. No real upgrade available for the Transit all-wheel drive. So this is kind of what you're stuck with. I think they look great and they does their job. So what comes stock on the Transit Trail are some specific trail wheels wrapped in some 245, 75, 16-inch tires. Really a nice combination, and that's one of the stock sizes that we offer for most of our all-wheel drive vans. So the stock rubber on the Trail is a Goodyear Workhorse AT tire. Really a fine offering. I think they would be great to stick with them for the first 25, 30,000 miles, but then we'd like to upgrade to one of our favorites, which is like the Falcon AT4s. If you're looking to upgrade your Transit Trail, you can get a 265, 75, 16-inch tire on there. We've got some Falcon AT4s on this one, on some Method 703 wheels. These wheels have the same stock offset as the regular all-wheel drive Transit, so it brings the tire and wheel package in a little bit more, but it provides the right amount of clearance to allow for you to be able to fit these bigger tires on there. In order to fit the larger tires on this Trail, we had to remove the mud flap and wheel well liner that was put in there by the upfitter. Once we did that, we discovered that they actually trimmed the pinch weld like we normally do to allow for bigger tires. So they actually did the right thing to be able to fit bigger tires in there. But when the mud flap went back in and the wheel well liner went back in, they just gave up all that space that they just made. So that's why there's some rubbing on the stock 245 tires on the Trail, but by removing those, you've got all the clearance that you need. On the regular all-wheel drive Transit, on this van, we went with an Owl Van 17-inch wheel and some Wild Peak AT4s, 275, 70, 17s. So pretty much the same size that we have on the Transit Trail. Once again, you do have to do some fender trimming to make them all fit, but it fits perfectly. It's a really nice addition to the van and puts it into the right proportions in our opinion. On the Transit Trail, one thing to note is that it does not come with a full-size spare underneath the van. They give you one of the stock 235, 65, 16 tires and wheels. It's really a small combination. It's what you'd see on most of the Transits out there on the road. But we like to give you a full-size spare with an actual wheel that can be put into rotation when you need to rotate your tires. So the Transit Trail comes stock with a solid glass window on the sliding door. It's a really nice option to have direct from the factory. You can also get that option on an all-wheel drive Transit if you order it from the factory, but most often they come with nothing on the sliding door. If your van doesn't come with windows, we're happy to cut some holes and install some really nice looking OEM windows. We can also remove the factory glass and install a half slider window from AM Auto if you'd like some more airflow. So one of the main differences between the Trail and the standard all-wheel drive is the lift kit that Ford puts on the Trail. They use some spacer blocks to basically perform a body lift where the lower part of the van, the engine, the drivetrain stays at the same height and the body is lifted up about 2 3/8 inches. This is pretty awesome to be able to get you some additional ground clearance with the bigger tires, but also it keeps your CV joints in the proper angles, so you don't have to worry about any premature wear from some of the older lift kits that the all-wheel drive used to be plagued with. So with the Transit Trail, there really is no additional upgraded shocks or struts. You have the stock struts that come with the all-wheel drive Transit. They're a really nice ride, no complaints actually. But if you ever wanted to improve that, you can add some Bilstein B6 struts on the Transit Trail. They'll fit just fine. You can also upgrade the rear shocks if you want as well. So if you end up selecting a standard all-wheel drive Transit, we've got some great options to give you some better ground clearance and room for bigger tires. This van has got the Van Compass Topo 2.0 kit with some additional lower adjustable control arms to give you a little bit more height clearance. We also have options from Transit Off-Road that also have a lower adjustable control arm. There's a couple others out there in the works, but really plenty of options to give you what you're looking for in your van. So the stock rear suspension on the Transit Trail comes with a spacer block that raises the rear end by about 2 3/8 of an inch. Really, that's how the rest of the lift kits get done for any of the other all-wheel drive Transits. This van came with stock rear shocks, just like a regular all-wheel drive Transit. However, we did upgrade to some Falcon 3.3 fast adjust shocks. Really a nice little add-on and something you could do in your driveway if you wanted to give you a little bit more control over the ride of your van. The rear offerings from Van Compass are very similar to what comes on the Transit Trail. A 2-inch spacer block gives you some additional lift in the rear. We also added the Falcon Fast Adjust 3.3 shocks for this van. With the addition of the high clearance shock relocation brackets, that raises the bottom of the shock mount up about an inch, inch and a half to give you just a little bit more clearance when you're hitting the trails. All right guys, that's it for the comparison of the Trail and the standard all-wheel drive. Bottom line is they're both awesome. You got plenty of options to really improve your suspension, wheels and tires on either van. The interior of these vans are both the same, so they have the same sort of height and weight. They look great. We're happy with them. If you guys have a choice of either, we can help you out. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hope to see you on the next video.